Hey guys, today we're going to look at the Marantz AV Surround Receiver NR1510, and this is an AV receiver that came out last year, 2019, so it's not the latest one, but it's fairly recent and still retailing at full price. I got it for about $600 US. It is one of Marantz's lower priced products, believe it or not. $600 doesn't seem low, but it is for Marantz because they make products that are well into the thousands of dollars. They're kind of a high-end Japanese audio brand, and actually Marantz, Denon, DefTech, Polk Audio, they're all part of the same group, which is United Sound, I believe. But Marantz is definitely positioned as probably the more premium audio brand in comparison to Denon, for example, which I think is more like mid-range. Yeah. So, anyways, this is the one I got. I've never bought a surround sound receiver. I never bought an AV receiver before because I've always used soundbars, right? But lately I've been thinking to upgrade to a discrete 5.1 system. So right now I have an LG SL10YG soundbar, which is a 7.1.2 system, right? It has Dolby Atmos and it has more speakers. So you might be wondering, why am I downgrading to a 5.1? Well, first of all, I don't really use the Dolby Atmos features. Right now, Dolby Atmos isn't in too many. There isn't too many content for it right now. So right now, like if you're watching Dolby Atmos content, it's probably on a UHD Blu-ray, or on Netflix, or on a streaming service. So I don't have any streaming services besides Amazon Prime, which I got for free from being an Amazon Prime member. Technically not for free, but that's not the main reason why I bought Amazon Prime. I just got it. I don't have Netflix, I don't have Disney Plus, any of the other streaming services. I don't intend to get them. And the Ultra HD Blu-ray player, I don't have that many Ultra HD Blu-rays, so I don't actually make use of the Dolby Atmos all that much. So the 7.1.2, I don't really use the 0.2 at the end that much. And I was thinking to get a discrete 5.1 because, soundbars are good for space saving. Like this is an apartment, right? It's pretty nice to save space, but sometimes I want to get some better quality, higher fidelity sound, and that's where a discrete sound system actually, most of the times does sound better than a soundbar. So I'm thinking about upgrading to a discrete 5.1 system, which, because the speakers are all separate, will give you more spatial separation than a soundbar, right? Then even a 5.1 or 7.1 soundbar isn't going to sound as good as a discrete 5.1 or 7.1 system, right? So that's what I'm thinking about. So that's why I got this surround receiver. One reason to get this, by the way. I have another reason, which is that I have a lot of inputs to hook up, and the soundbar just doesn't have enough inputs, right? I only have my LG SL10YG soundbar only has 2 HDMI inputs, and that's just not enough because I got a PS4 to hook up, NVIDIA Shield, I got a Nintendo Switch, I got my computer, right, and Ultra HD Blu-ray player. So I got a lot of things to hook up, and 2 inputs just isn't enough. And you could just buy like an HDMI switcher, but for me, I might as well just get an AV receiver because I'm thinking about upgrading to 5.1 anyways, right? So this is going to be better for that. If I have a lot of inputs, then this is definitely going to help, because really a receiver's job really is to take in a lot of inputs and amplify the sound, right? Alright, actually let's go over what came in the box first, because there's a lot of things that actually came in the box with this receiver, so you guys can see everything. Alright, first of all, we got this Odyssey mic. So Odyssey is a company known for room correction technologies, and actually they used to make a lot more products than just room correction algorithms. I remember I used to buy a speaker from them, like desktop speakers, and they were actually quite good. So the Odyssey wireless speakers that were Bluetooth, and they served me well for like maybe 2 years, and I gave them away to my parents. But anyways, this company, I've had some experience with them, at least with their speakers, and but their core technology actually is acoustic room correction technologies. So this, you're actually supposed to hook up the microphone to the Marantz, and it does some room correction for you so that your acoustics are treated better. So I guess this is the microphone that comes with the Odyssey. So yes, this is the microphone, this little triangle thing. So yeah. This is new to me. I've never bought a receiver before. So it is. Alright, this is new to me. I've never bought a receiver before, and I've never had this kind of acoustic correction technology, which is pretty necessary when you have a discrete speaker system. So it's cool that Marantz comes with this. They have Odyssey Mult EQ. I remember there's another one as well, the Mult EQ XT32 or something like that. But the Marantz, this one does not come with that. I think some of the Denons might, but I chose to get Marantz over Denon. I don't know, just it's a matter of preference, right? Marantz are usually a little bit higher priced than the Denons, but they're all part of the same group anyways. And I believe even their manufacturing facilities might be close to each other. Alright, so you also get a remote as well. This is the Marantz remote for this speaker, this receiver system. So I would say pretty standard looking remote that you can switch between different inputs and stuff. I don't like remotes in general because I think they're really complicated. Needlessly complicated, I think, but yeah, you have all your input switching right here, some echo mode, save energy or power, I guess, mute, channel, volume, navigation, tuning, smart select, then sound mode down at the bottom. So anyways, comes with this remote, and of course the batteries. You need two AA's, AAA's for this, two AAA's. And then of course gotta include the cord, right, the power cord. That's pretty necessary. And then you get this package here. What do we get in this package? So you get Bluetooth, Wi-Fi certified. So this is antennas, I'm guessing. So yes, antennas that you put on the back for Bluetooth. This is an antenna loop, looks like. So this can actually connect to some radio stations, I believe. So AM, FM radio. This is another connector. Looks like a coaxial connector actually. So it comes with that. And then it comes with some stickers here, I guess, that you can put on the, though this is for the speakers maybe. So that you know which speakers for what maybe. I guess this is for the cables, yeah. So I guess this is for the color-coded cables, which is neat. And then you got some warranty stuff. Yeah, the rest of it's like warranty, safety information. Don't really need to look at that. And then you get the quick start guide, which is pretty necessary for a system of this size. This is a pretty big system. So, alright, the Spotify Premium, which it has. Right, so it's your standard quick start guide. I'm definitely going to be taking a look. And then you get another one. So like I said, this box actually came with a lot of stuff. Looks like this comes with some cardboard to set up the, this is for the microphone, or some cardboard to set up some stuff. Maybe it's for the microphone. And then this stand. Yeah, I think this is for the Odyssey mic. Okay, so these are instructions to set up the Odyssey microphones for room correction. So it actually comes with some cardboard so you can set up your own makeshift tripod, I guess. So you can make your own tripod and set up the microphone. Alright, so that's what came inside the box, a lot of stuff actually. Let's look at the speaker itself. Let's look at the receiver now. Alright, so the Marantz surround receiver NR1510. Power button right here, obviously. This is for input selector. They have an analog knob for input selection, which is interesting, but I guess they have so many inputs, so that's why they use a knob. Then you got a 1/4 inch headphone jack, so these are for bigger headphones, or you can use an adapter. And so these are for true studio headphones, I guess. This is for the Odyssey mic to set it up. This is a display, looks like a standard LED display, no OLED here, unfortunately. Because this is one of their lower end models, I guess. MDAX, not sure what that is. Yeah, that's some Marantz technology maybe. And then tuner presets right here. And then internet radio, which I don't really listen to, but maybe you have Sirius, HD radio or something like that. Satellite radio. Internet, oh yeah, internet radio is different, yeah. I don't really use that much anyways. Maybe it's Pandora. Dimmer, status, sound mode, and pure direct, whatever that means. I don't know what pure direct means. And then you got the volume knob, of course. And you got all the technologies here. So you got HEOS built in, which is, this is a Sound United technology, so all of their brands have it. So Denon's, Polka Audios, and Deftex will also have this technology. Then you got Alexa, of course, works with Google Assistant and Alexa, Spotify, Connect. You got a USB port here and another HDMI port on the front with 4K HDCP 2.3. And then here you got more technologies that it works with. So you got the Odyssey technology, DTS HD, Dolby Audio. No Dolby Atmos support, by the way. This is only 5.1 channel, and it doesn't expand to more than that, and there's no height channel support. So there's no Dolby Atmos or DTSX. So just be aware of that. This is can only do Dolby True HD or DTS Master Audio, I'm guessing. So AirPlay 2 supported, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, high-res audio, certified, 5.2 channel, actually 2 subwoofers. You can put 2 subwoofers on this, 100 watts, 6 HDMI ins, 1 out, 4K 60p eARC support, Dolby Vision, HDR10 support, and HLG support as well. So yeah, that's the front. So you get a lot of support from the front. And then at the back is really important, because what you want to look at is how many inputs the AV receiver has, right? Because the main purpose of the AV receiver actually is to take in a whole bunch of digital inputs so that you can connect it to your speaker system, right? If you just want to have a bunch of analog inputs, by the way, you don't necessarily need an AV receiver. You can just get a stereo amplifier, and then you can connect your analog inputs to that. But since we're dealing with digital stuff here, that's where you need a AV receiver. Alright, so this is antennas for the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. You put the antennas there. You have a phono input here, so I can actually connect this to my turntable since it has a phono stage. So there's phono input right here. Coaxial, digital coaxial in, and then you have an IR in as well. This is for infrared remote control, I guess. So digital coaxial in, and then there's 2 digital inputs, the digital coaxial and the digital optical. I'm probably going to be using the digital optical with my PC because I'm using the Sound Blaster X3, which has the Dolby Pro logic and the Dolby Digital decoding. So I'll probably be using the optical for that, right? So that can decode into 5.1 from stereo. So I'm probably going to be using my computer with that, and then the network, Ethernet jack right here, RJ45, and then you have this is the ground for the turntable. So of course, if you're hooking up the turntable, you need to put a ground there. And then this is for the AM antenna, and then you can put the wires in here. So that's for AM and radio. And this is the actually FM antenna. So FM antenna, AM right there. And then you have a bunch of inputs here. So these are audio in inputs. So these are analog in, right? So these are all analog ins. Analog audio ins for, let's see, SAT, Blu-ray, DVD, CD. You can use it for anything. Doesn't have to be for those, but that's what's marked. So if you have any analog audio out, you can put it in here. So you can hook up like a CD player or even a cassette player, right? Turntable would go here, but yeah, any number of analog outs you can put in here, which is nice. You have analog video ins as well. So if you have a composite cable, then you can hook it in here. So for example, if you have an old video game console or something, you can probably use these inputs. So monitor, media player, Blu-ray, DVD. Again, it doesn't have to be those things. They just label like that, video in. And then you have the 2 subwoofers, because this is a 5.2 system. So you have 1 subwoofer out there and 1 subwoofer right there. So you got 2 subwoofers right there. So you can hook up 2. I'm only going to hook up 1, because even 1 subwoofer is pretty big, right? 2 is like a little bit much for my apartment anyways. And then you have 5 HDMI inputs here. Remember, a total of 6. There's another HDMI input on the front, which you saw already. So there's the other 5 right here. So it's labeled, again, CBL SAT, Blu-ray, DVD, game, media player, CD. Doesn't have to be for those things. Those are just labels, but you can put in any number of things. For me, I'm going to use all of them, right? Because one's going to be for my PS4 Pro, one's going to be for my Nvidia Shield, one's going to be for my Nintendo Switch, one's going to be for my PS TV, one's going to be for my Blu-ray player, UHD Blu-ray player, and the 6th one actually might be for the PS5, right, when I get the PS5. And then we have an eARC out, which is going up to the TV, right? So good for your eARC. I'm going to use that as well. And then you have the speakers right here. These are the speaker for the speaker cables. So you got front, right, front, left, center, the center channel, right, surround, left, surround, right. So I'm going to use bookshelf speakers, right, for these two. A center channel. If you had a 5.1 system, then you guys probably already know what these hook up to, right? Surround left and right, center channel, and bookshelf speakers, basically. And made in Vietnam, same as the Denons, because this is a lower end Marantz. The higher end Marantz are going to be made in Japan, but since this is a lower end one, it's still made in Vietnam. But that's fine, still pretty well built and pretty impressive quality, honestly. It's a pretty heavy device. So yeah, generally pretty impressed with it. I'll have to see how it performs. So for me, I need to get a 5.1 system first, and I'm thinking about getting the MartinLogan Motion 5.1 system, right? I did a lot of comparisons. I looked at all the different brands out there, because for a 5.1 system, you can pretty much go with any audio brand, right? So I looked at Klipsch, JBL, Polk Audio, right? It's from the same company, or DefTech, Bowers & Wilkins, KEF, and some of the other companies a little bit more higher end, like Paradigm or Wharfdale. That's it. So I actually narrowed it down to Wharfdale's or MartinLogan's, and probably going to go with the MartinLogan's because I like their kind of fold in motion technology. So I'm probably going to try those out. Also, my friend had MartinLogan's before, which I heard at his place, and they were really good. So probably going to try those out and hook it up with those. And that's going to replace my soundbar. And what I'm expecting from this upgrade is an upgrade in fidelity. I'm not going to get as many channels as the soundbar, but since it's a discrete system, I should be able to get more audio fidelity, right? Not necessarily power, but probably more power as well, since now I'm hooking up to the AV receiver with a dedicated amplifier. Whereas soundbars usually have built-in amplifiers, which are usually not as powerful as the ones in a dedicated receiver like this. So I'm also expecting more power as well. And of course, I don't need the other channels. The other two channels for the sides and the Dolby Atmos height channels are, I mean, they're good if you have like a home theater system. Obviously, if you have room for it. But for me, just for this apartment, 5.1 is definitely enough. So I don't need a 7.1.2. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, this is the first look at the Marantz NR1510 receiver, and definitely going to hook up this bad boy. And once I get my MartinLogan speakers in, I'm gonna hook it up and test it out. So you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, so now I have the Marantz NR1510 receiver hooked up to my TV. And as you guys can see, I also have a new sound system in place. This is the MartinLogan Motion 5.1 sound system. So now I have a full 5.1 discrete setup. So I'm gonna go over a little bit about the speakers and about the receiver as well, and how I think the performance is. Alright, so first of all, if any of you guys watched my living room setup video, you know that I used to have a LG soundbar here, and it was SL10YG, right? The SL10YG, and it had the Meridian audio baked in and everything. And that soundbar was pretty good for what it was. You know, why people buy soundbars is they don't want the hassle of having extra wires. It's more convenient. They have an all-in-one sound system. They don't need a receiver. So that's all well and good. So that soundbar did perform pretty well. But you know, I wanted something a little bit more flexible because it was a little bit restricting, because you know, everywhere you go you had to carry that entire soundbar. You can't split the speakers up, and receiver actually allows you to get more inputs as well. That soundbar only had 2 HDMI inputs, which was really restricting to me since I have so many different systems I want to hook up to it. So all those things made me want to get a separate sound system. And of course, you know, the discrete sound system is, you know, in theory, it should sound better spatially, right? Because the soundbar has all the speakers built in, but it also means there's not as much stereo separation or sound separation, because all the speakers have to be in the same chassis. But now if you have a discrete sound system, you can hook up the speakers wherever you want to get more sound separation. So yeah, that's why I switched from my soundbar to a discrete 5.1 system. Alright, so I'm just gonna do another tour of my room, show you guys where I put all the speakers. So this is the surround speaker. This is the left surround right there. I put it in the same place as the LG surrounds, so not much change there. And this is the right surround right here. So again, not much changes. Of course, now they have wires because they have to all run to the receiver now. So you can see now there's some wires on the ground, which is a little bit unsightly. I'll try to make the wires. No, this is basically how I have to have it because I don't have anywhere else I can run the wires right now. But I'll try to make them as just like as hidden as I could, right? I'll probably just tape it to the floor or something like that, but there's no way to like totally hide them. This is the left front speaker, right? And you can see I'm using banana plugs here, which are pretty much the easiest way to connect these speakers. So these are MartinLogan Motion 2Is. Each of these surrounds and the left and right front speaker are Motion 2Is, which you can see that's the banana plug out the back. Which is a fairly new pair of speakers. It's actually an iteration of their old Motion 2s. I think they added like a stiffer cone or something like that to reduce vibrations, something very minor. So it wasn't like a huge upgrade or anything, but yeah, I still decided to get that, and plus it was also on sale, so that's like another reason why I got it. And these are the Motion 4Is, I believe. They're the center channel speaker. So if you take off the grill, you can take off the grills for all these. They're pretty much magnetic. So you can just take off the grill, and you can see that they use a folded motion tweeter, which is kind of a MartinLogan signature. And they have a standard dynamic cone right here. But the folded motion tweeter is a MartinLogan kind of signature thing that they put into their lower end models, and then their higher end models are all electrostatic, of course. So the reason I went with MartinLogan is because I was doing a lot of research for a lot of different speaker brands, right? I was looking at Wharfedale, KEF, Bowers & Wilkins, Focal, Paradigm, all these different speaker brands, and I chose MartinLogan because I heard my friend's MartinLogan system like a few years back, and I really liked it. So I already had kind of an experience with MartinLogan already, and they do really make good high-end speakers. So their electrostatic speakers on the high end are really, really good. Now, I heard that their low end is pretty decent as well, and this is more of their low end speakers, right? Pretty much the cheapest speakers that they offer, still like $1,000 for this whole system, but yeah, these are the cheapest speakers that they offer, and it still sounds pretty decent, I think. So yeah, this is MartinLogan 4i. All the surrounds and front and left speakers are the 2i speakers. So yep, all together cost me about $1,000 US. And the subwoofer, of course, is included as well in the Motion 5.1 system. This is a subwoofer. This is the Dynamo 400, which is also included in the package. So, and then how I'm hooking them all up, there's a lot of wires going on here. So this is the downside of having a discrete 5.1 system, is with a soundbar you don't have that many wires, but with a discrete system you have a lot of wires coming up the back. So you can see just how many wires are here at the back of my receiver. So I have all the banana plugs and everything hooked up. That's basically my 5.1 setup right there. I have all the, well, these are the 5 speakers, right? And then the subwoofer cable goes here. And this is the LFE cable. So yeah, this is the back of the MartinLogan Dynamo 400 subwoofer. And you can see I have the LFE cable running here. That's the input for the LFE. And I can adjust the volume of the subwoofer, but I'm just going to keep it in the middle here. I don't want like earthquakes shaking my condo and my neighbors complaining and everything. But yeah, that's the subwoofer cable, and all those speaker cables and banana plugs, that's where they go. And then I have all my stuff hooked up, because that was one of the advantages of having a receiver actually, is that it takes in basically every input. So I have my CD player hooked up, I have my TV hooked up. This is coming from the Sound Blaster X3 sound card, going into the digital optical input. And then my CD player is using the analog RCA in, and then I have 6 HDMI inputs here actually. And then there's a HDMI ARC right there, which is going to the TV. So right now I have my PlayStation 4 Pro, my Nintendo Switch, my NVIDIA Shield, my PS TV, and what else? So right now I have my PS4 Pro, my Nintendo Switch, my PS TV, and my NVIDIA Shield all hooked up to the back of this. And yeah, that's basically how I'm hooking up the receiver. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about how I set up the Marantz. So basically, when you first start setting up the sound of the Marantz, you have to use this Odyssey mic for room calibration, right? So this is for room acoustic calibration, and if you don't have a tripod, you can actually assemble this thing right here. So this is the tripod that comes in the Marantz box, and this is for Odyssey multi-EQ calibration. So I set that up. I know it looks a little bit weird and stuff, but this is how they do it, and then you got to place it at various points in the room, and then it'll measure the speakers, I guess, and I guess the position of the speakers, and try to adjust it for you, like dynamically. So it'll dynamically adjust the volume and do all that calibration and stuff. So not exactly sure how it works, but anyways, I did that entire setup and stuff. So that was the Odyssey mic and the cardboard tripod that they make you build for it. Yeah. Anyways, and that went into the mic input here. Alright, so this is the Marantz NR1510, and just to show you guys a little bit about the different functions and display, just from here, I know I have the remote too, which I'll use later, but just from the front of the receiver, right now it says stereo, and I have it hooked up to the CD input. You can always adjust these different inputs too. So this is the input selector. So stereo is the source. This will actually turn to multi if it detects like a 5.1 surround or 7.1 surround source, and also turn to like Dolby Digital and some other different inputs as well. That's what I've seen. So right now stereo, and the input is CD, so change the input. So it could be tuner, Heos Music. I haven't really set up the Heos account, but you can use the Heos account to activate like DLNA and streaming like Spotify and stuff like that, music servers. So you can see that the input for here changed. So now you can do internet radio, music servers, USB music. So that's that input. Then I can switch to TV audio, which right now is hooked up to my computer. So it's now detects Dolby Digital because I have my Sound Blaster X3. That's the reason why I don't have my TV hooked up to the HDMI input of this receiver. I'm using the digital optical because I want to take advantage of the Sound Blaster X3's output in order to get a Dolby Digital Live. So that's why you see this DD here, that's Dolby Digital Live going on from my computer. And then switch again, phono input, I don't have any turntables hooked up, so there's nothing there. PSTV, actually kind of detected this. Sometimes I had to set the name, but it actually automatically detected this name, so that's hooked up to my PSTV. Switch, I actually manually inputted this name. This is the Nintendo Switch. And then PlayStation 4, right, it'll automatically detect that. And then aux, there's nothing hooked up to aux right now. Shield, it actually automatically detected my NVIDIA Shield. And then back to CD. And then there's different inputs here. Headphone input, I don't know who actually listens to a receiver with headphones, but you do have that. And then MDAX, so you can turn it off, you can turn it low, medium, high. So those are the different settings. So leave out medium. And then internet radio, right? This just goes to Heos Music, and then you can do a tuner prefetch, I guess. Dimmer is for actually this is what it goes to. It goes to local radio, search, trending, music, talk, sports. Okay, I don't really listen to internet radio, so I can't really comment on that. And that's what it does. Dimmer, dims the display. Let's keep it on status. Sound mode goes to Dolby Digital, Pro Logic 2 for movie, music, game, cinema, or Neo 6 cinema, music, multi-channel stereo, virtual. I don't really use that stereo, so I think I prefer multi-channel stereo, and then pure direct is for direct in. So yeah, auto, okay. And then you have the USB input and another HDMI input, which I'm not using. Then of course you have the volume control right here, which I might have to adjust for different sources, because different sources might sound louder. Like the CD input, for example, sounds very loud. But for other inputs, I usually leave it about this level, and it sounds about right. So, alright, those are the front controls. Alright, so this is the setup menu for the Marantz. I just had to press setup on my remote control here, and it goes here. So audio, you got the subwoofer level, surround parameter, MDAX, audio delay volume. This is the Odyssey setup. And then for video, 4K signal format, TV format, how much there are inputs. Actually, this is how I assign my inputs. So I have my TV, PSTV signed to the first HDMI input, I know on the back it says like a bunch of names like Blu-ray, CD player, game, or something like that, but it really doesn't matter. You can assign this whatever you want. So PSTV is the first one, Nintendo Switch the second one, PlayStation 4 third input, NVIDIA Shield the fourth one. Then my TV audio is set to the optical in. And then the aux doesn't have anything, and the CD is set right now to the third analog input. But I think later I might change it to coaxial here as well. So I can also set that as well. And whenever you switch to this input, it's going to switch to all those sources, right? It's going to kind of combine all those sources. So, and you can rename the sources. How I basically renamed the switch and the PSTV Shield. Actually, I'm going to rename this to computer, because this is actually the computer input. Okay, so this is actually the PC input. Alright, and then you can also adjust the levels for each source as well. And then speakers, I did the Odyssey setup already. Network, I'm connected to the network. You can also do AirPlay as well. HEOS account, I don't have my HEOS kind of set up right now, but again, if you ever want to stream like Spotify or Tidal or a DLNA or any of those sources, then you should probably sign up for a HEOS account. And then this is just general stuff. I think I have the latest firmware. Yeah, Bluetooth transmitter. This also has Bluetooth as well, so I can turn the transmitter on. Output mode, Bluetooth plus speakers. Output to Bluetooth headphone mains on speakers. Bluetooth only. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to turn Bluetooth on there. Echo mode. Now this actually has a power saving mode as well, which you can turn off. I have auto standby already turned on, so I think this is fine. But yeah, if you really care about energy, then you can turn the echo mode. And then the setup assistant is just basically a guided wizard for all these different things. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go through each of the different inputs. So right now I'm going to start off with the CD first, actually. This one doesn't have any video feed at all. It's strictly audio, and of course it's in stereo. Okay, so I have my Denon DCD50. This is my CD player. And then I actually have my cupboard full of different CDs here. So right now I think I have the Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash soundtrack right now. So we're going to play a track from the soundtrack, and of course it's only going to be in stereo, so you're only going to hear from the two left and right front speakers. But here we go. Alright. So right now it's at a pretty low volume. I'm going to raise it. This can get pretty loud. Okay, so for CDs it can get pretty loud. I'm going to leave it right here. So you guys have heard the CD player, and that works really well. Of course, there's no video input for the CD player, so let's go to something else that has video input. Alright, so now we're going to go through the different inputs. So the first HDMI input I have it hooked up to is the PSTV, so it should automatically switch to the PSTV. So you can see now it's in PSTV, which is outputting stereo right now. It's this controller, but okay, yeah, so I have it hooked up PSTV and just automatically works. So you can think of it as like an expensive HDMI switcher as well, but yeah, that works. So anyways, this is my first HDMI input is the PSTV, and it's in stereo mode right now. Alright. Now the second input is the Shield. So let's go to the second input, and this will go to my NVIDIA Shield. Now this one, I actually set up my Shield to output in 5.1. So this one, if I go back. Okay, and this is what I use to watch YouTube with, because I can get YouTube in 5.1 using this. So this is what I usually do. So I go to settings, and then go to Device Preference, Display and Sound. Okay, so Advanced Sound Settings, and right now I have it Stereo Upmix. See, this is important. You have to set it to Stereo Upmix, upmix stereo streams to 5.1 PCM, and then it will switch to multi-in. Right? If you don't do that, then it'll just be stereo. If you really want to get the 5.1 surround out of the shield, you gotta turn this option on, Stereo Upmix, and then it'll go to multi-in, which means it's full 5.1, and I can experience the joys of surround sound. So I can play something off of YouTube. Gunbound OST number 11.
Alright, here are some videos.
Okay, this is the one I was looking for. So yeah, if I just play any kind of music on YouTube, it might be copyrighted. So that's why I'm going to play this one, because I know this one's not copyrighted. Yeah, so we're going to hear it in 5.1 surround sound. And we're going to turn up the volume a little bit. So this is the volume I would usually listen to these speakers at. Pretty good. You guys can maybe hear it. So this is the surround speakers. Maybe you guys can hear the surround speakers. Left, front channel, middle channel. And the left surround. The right surround. Anyways, that's YouTube in full 5.1 using my video shield, which is pretty good. And yeah, I think the speakers sound pretty nice. So again, these are MartinLogan Motion 5.1s. How do they sound compared to the LG SL10YG soundbar I had before? I think the soundbar that I had before, the LG soundbar, was actually more powerful. Yeah, that was an extremely powerful soundbar and can actually get quite loud. But I think the MartinLogans feel more refined, if that makes sense, right? I mean, the soundbar is good. The LG SL10YG is a good soundbar. It's one of the best on the market, and it can probably get louder than these speakers actually, because this amplifier or this receiver is not the most powerful receiver or the most powerful amplifier. So that's why the soundbar I think may actually be more powerful, but I think the sound from these MartinLogans are a little bit more refined. Alright, and the third input I believe is the Nintendo Switch, so let's switch to the Switch. Alright, so this is the Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch does output at 5.1 as well. You can see as multi-in, and I think it actually does that by default in the TV settings, so we can take a look. Yep, so TV settings, you go down here and you just set it to TV sound, surround sound, and it should output in 5.1. So, nice. Alright, so let's test out the 5.1 surround sound with a Nintendo Switch game. I think right now I have Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet in here. This is, of course, a port of Dead or Alive Extreme 3 for the Nintendo Switch with an extra character, I believe. So, good thing about this game is that it comes with some music as well, so you guys can hear the surround sound speakers in action. So we're gonna go to bed. I'm gonna play some volleyball the next day. Alright, so my partner is I think what's her name? Haruka or something? Hanoka, yeah, that's her name, Hanoka. Okay, so let's play some beach volleyball. Yeah, there it is. I wish this game had the pop soundtrack of the Dead or Alive Extreme 2 soundtrack. Right, that's one thing it's missing is the soundtrack of Extreme 2, which had like a more 90s pop soundtrack, which I missed. There we go. Oh, nice. I can hear the waves from the surround sound speakers. That's nice. It's coming from the back of me, so that's very immersive. Pretty nice. So yeah, this game I think the surround sound's pretty good. I can hear the waves coming from the back of me from the rear speakers, so I'm using it pretty well. Oh shoot. Nice spike. Oh my god. I can get pretty competitive in this game because in Extreme 2, it's like, man, some of these volleyball matches can get pretty intense, especially if it's like a disc, right? Let's go. Aww. What? Darn it, why do I keep hitting the net? Okay. No! Oh, I keep hitting the net. Darn it. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh. Oh, darn it. It's gonna block that. Okay, well, the surround sound in this game is pretty good. You know, I can hear the waves and stuff coming from the rear speakers, so they're using it pretty good. And it has some nice tropical music coming from the front speakers. Alright, so that's the Nintendo Switch. As you can see, the surround sound on the Switch is pretty nice. Then we go to the fourth input, which is the PS4. So let's go to the PS4. And here we go. And of course, PS4 is also got native 5.1 surround. Of course, it's a native home console, so it should be good at surround sound. So I'm gonna play some Crash Bandicoot 4, and this is actually new for me. I don't think I've tried this game out yet, but I think it should have some pretty decent music. It should be a fairly simple game to play, with just a nice demo as well. Okay, activation.
Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So I definitely hear the surround sound a lot better, because when I had my LG soundbar, I also had rear surrounds, but you couldn't hear the rear surround channel as well as you could now. So I mean, before I was playing games on the PS4 and Switch, and you know, I had my LG soundbar and the rear surrounds for the LG's SPK8 hooked up as well, but definitely those rear surround speakers aren't as good as the MartinLogan Motion 2i's, right? So now I can hear the footsteps of Crash coming from the rear surround speakers very well, whereas before I could barely even hear them, right? I could barely hear them before because the soundbar was always drowning the rear surrounds out, but now I can hear them pretty clearly. Like, the volume of the rear surrounds is definitely... Oh, there's a spiral thing there. Interesting. I can hear them pretty clearly now, so it's pretty nice. Yep. Very nice, okay. Yeah, I can definitely hear the surround sound a lot better now on this setup. Definitely on the PS4 it's very pronounced. This is probably the best surround sound device I have connected. It's the most native one. All the other ones, like I either had to like upmix or something, but the Switch and the PS4, especially the PS4, has the best surround sound of all the devices I have hooked up. So I can definitely hear it a lot better on this device, on the PS4. Nice.
Quickly, we must go.
I'm only gonna play a little bit, but yeah, let's see. Let's go to the next checkpoint at least. Got a little totem guy here. What? Did I die? I didn't know I died in one hit. Okay. Apparently I died from the spider thing. Whoa, sliding. Very nice. I'm hearing a lot of the ambient sound coming from the rears. Very nice. Side-scrolling platformer now. Interesting. Oh, okay. Bye guys. Anyways, just wanted to show off a little bit about the PS4's surround capabilities and test that out. But it looks like it's this is probably the best device right now I've experienced with the surround sound. Like I've been hearing a lot of the ambient sound effects come from the rears and of course the front speakers as well. So this is definitely, the PS4 works really well with this speaker setup. Alright, and the last input I'm going to test and demo for you guys is the computer input, which I have hooked up to the digital optical input of the receiver right now, and that's under the TV audio input, which I recently renamed to PC. And of course it's going through the Sound Blaster X3, the Creative Sound Blaster X3 external sound card, which is hooked up to my CyberPower PC right here. And again, the reason why I did this is because it can output in Dolby Digital Live. So you can see the DD sign right there. That's Dolby Digital. That's why I don't have it hooked up to the HDMI input of the receiver, is because I want to get that sweet Dolby Digital Live decoding. All right, so let's change the inputs to my PC here. So I have the HDMI video input actually hooked up to my TV directly. I'm only using the receiver for the audio. Okay, so now we should get some of that sweet Dolby Digital Live encoding, which allows us to actually experience any stereo stream from the computer in surround sound, right? So for example, if I go to VLC right here, so I have some of my movies. This is all the movies I stored in my NAS. If I play them on VLC, and I have VLC set up to output in 5.1, let's just play Blade Runner. This is the movie I usually use because it has a really good soundtrack. So what you go to do is Preferences. This is how you make it output in 5.1 mode. So you go to Preferences, and then you go to All, and then I go to Audio, I go to Output Modules, and I go to DirectX Audio Output. Then I expand that, go to DirectX, and I make sure that the output device is my Sound Blaster X3. Right, that's the external sound card I'm using, which allows, which has the Dolby Digital Live and Pro Logic 2 support. And then I have a speaker configuration set to 5.1. That allows VLC to basically play any audio or video, and all the audio streams will be even if they're stereo originally, they'll be split into 5.1. Alright, so this is Blade Runner, which has a great soundtrack by Vangelis, all-time classic one. Okay, yeah, the soundtrack is great. Alright, so obviously the surround sound is really good in this movie, and I can definitely hear it very well from the speaker setup. So I'm going to stick you around where you guys can hear it better. So, this is right surround, front speaker, center channel, right speaker, left surround. Yeah, very nice. All right. So yeah, that was a beautiful Vangelis soundtrack. So that was Blade Runner, and as you guys can see, the Dolby Digital Live and Pro Logic 2 decoding is working great. So that's all coming from VLC, right? It's treating it as if it's a full 5.1 surround movie, so we get all that. And then for playing games, it's pretty nice too. Of course, 5.1 surround is only supported in certain games, but like we can play a game that natively supports it would be better, like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is actually the game I used last time in my living room setup video, but it does support 5.1 surround natively, so let's try this game. So in the options, what you gotta do is go to audio and then set the audio output to 5.1 surround, and then it works. And of course, dynamic range, I think it supports the HDR as well. Studio reference, yeah. Since my TV supports HDR, it's the LG C9, so let's turn that on as well. So now hopefully you guys can hear some of the surround music as well. So now you guys can hear the full 5.1 surround, Dolby Digital Live, but this game natively supports 5.1 anyways, so it's pretty nice. Alright, so again, that's really nice to have all the speakers and everything kind of set up and calibrated this way. And I think the Odyssey Multi-Q did a pretty good job too, because it's supposed to calibrate all the speakers so that you're getting, basically you're in the sweet spot every time whenever you listen to something. So I think that's what the Odyssey Multi-Q setup did, calibrated the room acoustics and everything, puts you kind of in that sweet spot. So let's play a game. I'm using a Corsair wireless keyboard and mouse, by the way. So I am going to have to use both hands for this game. I can't just use one hand. I don't have a controller. Alright. Very nice. The ambient sound effects You kind of hear that. Actually, I believe I played this part in my living room PC demo as well, but we can now hear it using my new setup.
Okay, I'll look.
Cal, can you hear me?
The Empire. They found Zeppo.
If they were following the Mantis, we would have been swarmed already.
Could they be looking for the tombs?
Let's hope not. Just got our comms working. I'll try the same workaround to crack into theirs.
So yeah, definitely hear all the ambient sound effects and everything from the surrounds, so that's really nice. Oh shoot, forgot about this guy. The ambushes me. Ignite a lightsaber when I'm wall running, that's cool. I'll never get over the fact that this guy looks like Tom Holland from Spider-Man, but it's like he was born to play the Star Wars role too.
Okay, I'm done.
You wanna fight me? Oh, you wanna fight me?
Pressure on him. Hit the Jedi. I'll kick him.
Moving out.
Okay.
The wind's picked up from the north. I wonder what the scanners picked up earlier. That is odd. Keep an eye out.
And of course, whenever I shift my perspective, the sound also changes in that direction as well. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it sounds like it makes sense in that, you know, it should be, shouldn't be that surprising. But for me, I've played games mostly in stereo, you know, on a computer monitor. So having to play on a home theater system with a TV like this and everything is just a really nice experience. Like, I'm just used to playing games most of my life on a, you know, just a regular computer monitor and then using laptop speakers or something like that, right? I've been playing a lot of computer games using my laptop mostly for most of my life, actually. So experiencing it on, 55-inch OLED HDR TV with a nice 5.1 surround sound system, this is really nice. So
Come here, BD1.
great gaming experience. It's very theatrical, especially for a game like this, right? A game like this is already pretty cinematic, but having all the equipment in place just makes it even more so, and it makes it more immersive and enjoyable. So yep, that's definitely it. This is Jedi Fallen Order. I think another game I could play using this is Death Stranding. I think could be another one. Could test out the surround sound, so let's try that one as well. There's only a certain amount I can do that. Holy shit, that's scary. That is really scary. Yeah, I can definitely hear like the motion, the movements, and the noises all coming from behind me, so that's really, really scary. really adds to the immersion. Oh my god. Okay, I can't hold it for much longer. Yeah, that is disturbing. Okay. Anyways, guys, yeah, the surround sound definitely adds to the ambience and everything. Like, that is genuinely like scary when you have the speakers all turned up and you can hear the noises and stuff coming from behind you, the breathing of the monsters and everything. So yeah, definitely surround sound works really well in that game. Alright, so that's basically it. And you guys pretty much already heard the Dolby Digital Live decoding and PC Pro Logic 2. I guess I can just show you guys that it also works with pretty much any audio as well. So say I play like a music file. This is all my music in my NAS server, and just gonna play some. Let's see the piano collection for this. You hear a little bit of it coming from the rear speakers. Not very much, but you can hear a little bit of it. Yeah, you can't hear very much coming from the rears, but they are definitely outputting to the rears in the center channel. So that's how you know it's not just stereo. It's definitely the Dolby Digital doing its thing. So, very, very cool. That's how I have my PC hooked up. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. All I have to say is I'm pretty satisfied with this receiver and these speakers. So definitely compared to the soundbar, the LG SL10YG I had before, and the rear surrounds of that soundbar, compared to that, definitely the rears, the MartinLogan Motion 2Is are a lot better. Because the LG rears are basically like super tiny speakers, right? These MartinLogans are definitely a lot better than that. As for the front speaker and the center channel, I think they feel a little bit more refined compared to the soundbar. Even though the LG SL10YG was a full 7.1.2 system, the MartinLogan 5.1s, they have 2 channels less, but I still feel like I'm not really missing anything. Like the side firing channels of the soundbar didn't really add all that much, right? Because it was all in the same chassis, so there's not much separation between that anyways. So I'm pretty happy with this system. I don't need the Dolby Atmos, like I said. I don't watch many, I don't have much Dolby Atmos content or DTS:X content anyways. And plus, the soundbar is probably not the best way to even experience that kind of effect. So, because like it's like reflected off the ceiling and stuff. So I don't think I'm really missing any of the height effects either. So I feel like this sound system, even though technically there's not as many channels as on the LG soundbar, but to me it sounds a little bit better, more refined. The rear speakers definitely sound better because they're, you know, better speakers. For the front speakers also sound pretty good too. It's not quite like, in terms of pure power, I don't think it's as powerful as the LG soundbar, but in terms of the refinement of the sound, I think it's actually better. And of course I can actually pump out the sound a lot louder using this receiver as well. And it takes in a lot more inputs, it's a lot more versatile. Like I said, it takes in pretty much every device I have, plus it has access to internet radio and streaming and DLNA through the HEOS service as well. So I get a lot more versatility out of this setup compared to the soundbar, right? Since the soundbar basically has the amplifier, everything already built into it, you have to use that as the input. You can't hook it up to a receiver or something like that, right? You can't double amp, basically. So These are passive speakers, you know, they're not powered, so they need something to drive them. But if you have a receiver setup and a 5.1 setup, there's pros and cons. There's going to be more wires in this setup compared to the soundbar. But you also get more versatility, more flexibility, and probably better sound quality as well, and better sound separation for sure. And yeah, that's basically it. Pretty satisfied with this system. Like I said, there's pros and cons of going with the discrete receiver plus 5.1 or 7.1 channel setup, but I feel like it's definitely an upgrade and improvement. And also the subwoofer too. The subwoofer isn't quite as noticeable as the LG subwoofer, I would say, but you can definitely turn it up. I mean, I have it set to about medium level right now, and if you do turn it up, it could definitely be a lot more powerful and you can add a lot more bass. I just didn't turn it up very much because I didn't want to disturb people that much, but it's definitely a bigger subwoofer compared to the LG one, and definitely I think it can produce more bass, just I didn't turn it up the level that much. So that's probably why I'm not feeling it as much as the LG one. But yeah, all in all, I think the system is more versatile, and I do like it. And of course, I can switch back to any one of the inputs, and it'll automatically switch the TV back. It's going through HDMI ARC. So another thing I have to mention is that I specifically bought this receiver, the NR1510, because it's so slim, right, compared to other receivers. So no, it's still not like super slim or anything. Definitely it's still like taller than a soundbar. Like my LG soundbar was probably like this, and even though the soundbar is pretty slim, it was still blocking my TV, like the bottom of my TV. But this receiver, the reason I chose this one is because it's relatively slim. Other receivers are like, you know, this tall, right? So that's why I went with this one over like an Onkyo or Denon, other Marantz ones, Yamaha, Pioneer. There's a whole bunch of receivers out there. That's why I specifically went with this one, because it's so slim, relatively speaking, right? So I also had to get a new TV stand. So this is not the LG TV stand that it comes with. The LG TV stand, if you guys can see that in my living room setup video, it's like this. Like the TV is still pretty close to the ground, I guess, or to the bottom of the TV stand. So even my LG soundbar was pretty slim. It was still blocking the bottom of the TV. So that's why I had to upgrade this TV stand to one that can kind of lift up my TV a bit. And that's how I was able to fit this receiver. Like even this receiver is slim, but you can tell that there still isn't a whole lot of space. So I just can't go with like a huge receiver, right? And I obviously don't have any space down here in my TV stand. So yeah, that's why I didn't go with any other receiver, because all the other ones are way too tall. This one's, you know, at least it can fit under my TV. And yeah, I was able to fit all my speakers underneath the TV as well, and it's not blocking anything. So yeah, basically that's what I had to do. The LG TV stand that came with the TV, I couldn't use that, right? I had to choose a different one that can lift it up, and basically I just used the Visa mounts on the back, and it's able to lift up the TV a bit, so I have room under it to put the receiver and all these speakers, but it looks like it works fine. So yeah, that's just an FYI in case you guys decide to go from a soundbar to receiver. Make sure you get a receiver that can fit under your TV, because most receivers are kind of massive, right? Or make sure that your TV stand has room for it. My TV stand doesn't. So yeah, just most receivers are really bulky, massive devices. But that's another reason I like this one. And yeah, this TV stand is just one I found on Amazon, like about 30 bucks or something like that. Not that expensive. Pretty much most TV stands on Amazon will be able to lift up your TV a lot higher than the built-in stand. So yeah, I just highly recommend getting one of those if you decide to go for a discrete system and receiver over a soundbar. Because one of the benefits of a soundbar is that it was slim, but that also kind of compromises the sound quality as well, I think. Now you have a lot more room under the TV, and then you get more versatile inputs, and you get speakers that are a little bit bigger, so they can fit a little bit, you know, taller drivers and stuff in there. So that's it, guys. Leave me any comments, feedback in the section below if you guys are thinking of switching to a soundbar, or if you guys are going from a soundbar to a receiver plus discrete setup like I did. Just let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.